Hi everyone, we are Canete and Associates and we are here to provide an investigation for the Artekon Steel Company case. I am Ephraim Canete, the director for the CNA Associate, and I'm with Maria and Natalie, Anna Margarita, Delpreet Kaur, Shadiya, which are our management consultants. Today we're going to be reporting about Artekon statement that scenarios, our approach for the report, the different analysis, quantitative and qualitative, and its impact with the organization. And in the last part of our report, we will provide the conclusion and recommendation. About Artekon Company, they're a manufacturer of steel drilling attachments for oil and gas industry. They're located in multiple sites in North America, and they sell using external sales agent with a commission rate. And the financial controller asked us to provide a sales strategy for the upcoming year. They are planning to start a project by recruiting 7 salesperson at a commission rate of 12%. The budgeted income statement prepared by Hanson's management drew the attention of the financial controller of Artekon. And the independent sales is demanding about 21% sales commission, which is unacceptable for the financial controller. So the financial controller wants us to investigate the possibility of hiring its own sales force and provide an analysis so that they can make a management decision. We will tackle about the contribution margin, the margin of safety, and also the ROI. In this paper, we will also provide the volume of sales that are required for the different scenarios. These are all included in our quantitative analysis. After our qualitative analysis, we will provide recommendations for the company. The current scenario is at a range of 17% sales commission. And for the upcoming year, we want to investigate if scenario 1 with an increased commission rate 21% is viable, or the scenario 2 employing our own sales force with a paid commission of 12% is more beneficial for the company. So we will investigate the viability of setting up Artekon sales division instead of external sales agent for the upcoming year. Our methodology is we will gather data by investigating the Hanson's report and try to understand the different gaps. The second phase includes the design and analysis by comparing the different scenarios and providing the sales strategy. And last, we will recommend financial controls and we will show you the different graphs. Now, I will give the presentation to Maria and Natalie for the quantitative analysis.
Thank you, Rain. So for the first case analysis, we will talk about the budget contribution for the three scenarios that we have, which are the unchanged scenario at 17%, increased scenario at 21%, and lastly, its own sales force at 12% commission rate. So basically, what we need to compute here is the commission rate at different percentages. And to get it, all we did is to multiply each percentage on the sales amount. And for the current scenario, we got 3 million on its sales commission, 3.7 million for the increased scenario, and 2.1 million from its own sales force. And to get its net operating income, we have deducted total fixed expenses from contribution margin, which results to 2.1 million from net operating income for unchanged, 1.4 million for increased scenario, and 2.5 million from own sales force. And therefore, looking at this table, we have concluded that Artekon Company should invest on its own sales force since it has the highest contribution margin at 33.60%, even the fact that its net operating income is high at 2.5 million due to its fixed expenses incurred. So moving on, I'm passing to Delpreet to discuss the break-even point.
Thank you, Maria. Break-even point is defined as how many quantity of product needs to be sold in order to generate revenue for Artekon. We will be analyzing 3 different scenarios: the current, increased, and own sales force. To compute break-even point, we would need to firstly compute the contribution margin. We would then compute contribution ratio by using contribution margin divided by sales. Lastly, to calculate the break-even point, we would use fixed cost divided by contribution margin ratio. For current scenario, the break-even point is 10 million. For increased scenario, the break-even point is 11.6 million. And for the own sales force scenario, the break-even point is at 10.2 million. Looking at the table, we could see the scenario 2B has the lowest contribution ratio at 24.6%. Therefore, it needs a higher volume of sales to achieve a break-even. For number 3, We are going to compute target net income of 1.44 million. We would utilize net operating income of 21% commission rate and fixed cost of 12% from own sales force. We would utilize the standard fixed cost and contribution ratio from own sales force. We will then add the target income of 1.44 million that resulted target volume of sales at 14.5 million. To conclude, instead of applying current net income of $17.5 million, it would be much efficient if the organization will imply own sales force. I'll pass to Maria again. Thank you.
So number 4 case analysis, we have to look for the volume of sales in which we have used the algebraic expression. For this case analysis, we needed to compute the increase scenario and own sales force to get an equal operating income. So we represented the formula as B is equal to C, wherein B stands for the commission ratio of increased scenario less the fixed cost of the same scenario. And the variable C represents the contribution margin of its own sales force less fixed cost. All we had to do now is to substitute the formula and transpose by grouping the contribution margin together, and same on the fixed cost. After that, we just need to cancel out, and then from there, we're gonna derive from getting the volume of sales at 6.2 million. Therefore, we have concluded that whether the company choose increase scenario or own sales force, both will still result in negative net operating income at 1.3 million. So moving forward, I'm passing it to Anna to discuss about the qualitative analysis.
Thank you, Maria. Now that we have an understanding on the net income comparison, we can take all these information and consider it along with the qualitative analysis. This specific activity of sales commission should have been controlled by Hanson management. From the income statement prepared by Hanson management, increasing the commission rate to 21% as per the demands of the sales management will lead to even higher variable expense than the current scenario. Under the responsibility accounting, senior management has the authority to make decisions that will control the cost of commissions and fixed expenses. Controllable margin is the highest when the company recruits its own sales force. Even though fixed expenses are its highest when the company recruits its own sales force, it can be managed by controlling the different components of fixed costs and increase the net income of the company. The methods which the company can take to reduce costs, including the sales workforce. This can help increase collaboration between manufacturing division and sales division. Additionally, investing in an online reporting system will help control fixed expenses and verify the validity of costs incurred. The line manager handling sales force will be responsible for managing these fixed costs. And now, I hand over to Shadiya to wrap up on the presentation.
Thank you, Anna, for giving this analysis. Now, as you have seen, we have conducted a thorough review of various commission scenarios. And on behalf of Canete Associates, I would like to conclude our presentation. So, here are some graphs and some tables, as you see here. So, the contribution margin is 33.6%. This is quite higher as compared to when the company recruits an external sales agent. So this means that 33.60% of the sales revenue is not consumed by the variable expenses. So this is a good figure for the Artekon to decide to go with their own sales division. As you all can see that the fixed expenses have also increased to 19.6%. But this fixed expenses include the advertising cost, travel and entertainment expenses, and most importantly, the commission rate. So these all costs are controllable costs. Managers responsible for it could easily manage these costs. When I talk about the margin of safety, it is also seen that it is higher when the company recruits its own sales division. It is 42% approximately. So chances of operating at this margin of safety will lead to less losses. So this margin would further be increased by increasing the sales. Now, regarding the qualitative analysis, we also found that Hanson's management lagged responsible accounting. To study it further, we converted it into the income statement that he gave was for the external reporting. So we converted it into budgeted contribution income format statement, and that revealed the real figures of the fixed cost and the variable cost. So with the introduction of the sales division, company size will expand vertically and the company can become more profitable in the upcoming years. With time, the planned sales force of 7 could be expanded further. That would further increase the sales volume. So the new sales division within the company would also increase the collaboration among different divisions. Now, if I talk about the graphs, as you can see, we can conclude that the net income earned by the own sales force is $2.46 million. And this is much more as compared to that when the company recruits the external sales force. Whereas the variable cost, if you can see, it is $11.62 million, dropped from $13 million. Fixed cost has slightly increased, but as we have discussed that it can be easily manageable because most of the costs are controllable costs, especially the commission rate. For now, if I now moving on to this graph, for the same expected sales of $17.5 million, as we discussed that the net operating income is more for our own sales force, for the company if it established its own sales division, whereas the break-even point can be achieved with just $10 million of sales as compared to the independent agents. So this means that it would be a wise decision for the company to move ahead with establishing their own sales division. Now, we would, on behalf of our team, I would like to recommend the following. So first and foremost, recommendation is to create the own sales division and hire the salespeople. Responsibility accounting is strictly advised. And for this, it is also important to establish some performance indicators for the sales team. These indicators could be the controllable margin and the return on investment. Also, it is now because the company is thinking of creating its own sales division. So it is important to prepare the sales budget prior to the preparation of the production budget. The company can increase its collaboration by allocating the assets properly and using it efficiently. Margin of safety could also be increased easily. Again, of this controllable margin, rate of return on investments, all these are all quite related. So controllable margin and ROI can increase if the company uses its assets properly and if there are more sales. So next is we can develop, the company can develop the online reporting system for the salespeople, and this will help to manage the fixed cost and reduce the reporting time. Layoffs would be there if, for the external salespeople when we will be when the company is going to take this decision of establishing the own sales division. So we recommend that the company can offer these independent sales agent to be to work as an employee on permanent contract with the company. So this will help to avoid the layoff. And at the same time, it will help to retain the expertise and the experience that these people are having. So this is all about the investigation on behalf of the Canete Associates. And we believe as a team that creating own sales division will be the right decision. Thank you.